Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 3.4. Now in this particular Yoga Sutra, he's explaining to us the concept of Samyama and is helping us to understand how it operates and what it's all about. So let's take a good look at the Sutra, start breaking it up word by word and understanding it a little bit better. The Sutra itself goes, Traya me katra Samyamaha. Alright, so this is a sutra, quite a short and compact one, but it has a very impactful meaning. So let's break it up word by word and start understanding it a little bit further. The first word here is Traya. Traya refers to three or a triad of three particular things. The next word is Ekatra. Ekatra is also a very common Marathi word which refers to something coming together or being put together in one place. So that's Ekatra. And finally, the last word, of course, is Samyamaha, which refers to the word that we're trying to define. Now, what this sutra is saying is that the three concepts of dharana, dhyan, and samadhi, all of them come together to help us to understand Samyamaha. And all these start to almost merge into a singular process of Samyamaha. Now that we've understood the overall meaning of the sutra, let's go a little bit deeper and understand it even more in depth. So, we looked at dharana, dhyan and samadhi as three different practices. But now what starts to happen as the practitioner becomes even more adept at the practice is that it takes lesser and lesser time to go into these stages. So just like any activity that you were to perform, say for example you're learning how to play badminton, the initial days are the most challenging, but then over time you know how to serve, you know how to smash, you know how to toss the shuttle over to the other side. So it becomes like really habitual. You don't even have to think about it and you're able to do all of those moves on the court. Something similar happens in the process of dharana, dhyan and samadhi. Initially, you might just be at dharana, then you might enter a little bit of dhyan and then eventually go into samadhi. But whatever the case may be, over a period of time, the time taken to enter into each stage becomes lesser and lesser. So now you might reach a stage as a sadhak where it's almost effortless and instantaneous that you enter dharana, it slowly moves into dhyan and it culminates into samadhi. So the practice becomes much faster. It goes like really quickly as you enter one stage and then move into the next. And because of that quick succession and the quick movement, due to the effortlessness that has been created, what happens is it appears as if all three are happening simultaneously at the same time. But that's an illusion that's created because it's going so quickly due to the effortlessness that it appears like one thing, but it's just the culmination happening a little more swiftly than normal. And that culmination altogether is known as the practice and the process of Samyamaha. And this is a very, very important word and a very important concept to understand, because throughout Vibhuti Pad now in the next few sutras, Muni Patanjali is giving us certain topics, certain subjects which we can use as an alambana or a support to focus our mind on. And then he's also telling us that by doing this kind of a focus, what are some of the vibhutis that get created by default. So these vibhutis are then useful, or at least some of them are useful, to use as a stepping stone into the practice and process of Kaivalya in chapter 4. So it's very, very important for us to understand that not every single vibhuti becomes a negative siddhi or is used for personal gain. It's not like that. It really depends on the practitioner, their scope of practice and how they look at it. Not every sadhak is going to take the power attained and then use it for worldly advantage. There are some people who know what's happening when they're doing these practices and processes. They're gaining high levels of intuitive knowledge, but they still keep going until they reach and until they can use it for the Kaivalya path later on. So this is a little bit about what is taking place in the entire practice and process of Samyama. And also I'd like to mention over here that this Vibhuti path is an amazing chapter because it talks about the different vibhutis and understanding that a sadhak achieves or receives in the practice. And this really helps to show us that there are some things that when you concentrate on them very deeply for a long period of time, there's like a flash of intuition and suddenly you understand them completely. And these are what the vibhutis are all about, that deep concentration leads to an intuitive understanding of the concept and sudden amazing realization which helps us to understand it better. Some examples given in our reference book were of Archimedes, along with where he screams Eureka, Eureka, because he understands how, the principle works and when he's having a bath. And it's not like he did not notice that before. It's just that now it became very clear and he was able to kind of intuitively grasp its understanding. Same goes for Newton when he was working on understanding the laws of gravity, trying to understand the different astrological bodies. He suddenly saw an apple fall and he was able to get the insight that he needed. So there are these moments of sharp intuitive flashes that indicate that Samyama is possible. It does take place in certain cases and it really does happen. So in the upcoming sutras, we're going to start clarifying this process even further and understanding how exactly does it work. But I just want to leave you with the fact that Samyama is a process that's going to keep repeating itself in this Vibhuti path. So keep coming back to this video if you forget what it means or if you have any trouble later on in the chapter. Now, I hope you found this video informative and helpful. If you have, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Drop your comments in the comment section below, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends. We look forward now to seeing you in the next video or at the next class or workshop, the links for which are in the description. Until then, take care and we look forward to connecting with you really soon. Namaste.